Liberty City in Grand Theft Auto 4 is dense and full of people to see and things to do, but it still feels so lonely. My name is One Hip, and thanks for clicking on this video. I'm doing a series on Rockstar's HD era, and in this video, I'll be exploring the many elements of GTA 4 that make it an interesting entry in this beloved franchise. Following the success of GTA San Andreas, Rockstar had commissioned their Rage engine, which was powerful enough to render highly detailed open worlds. With Rockstar Presents Table Tennis showcasing what the engine could do, Rockstar Games and developer Rockstar North were ready to bring this technology to their flagship franchise. Outside systems such as Euphoria for animation and Bullet for real-world object physics were integrated into the engine, and GTA 4 began development in November 2004. The Liberty City that was featured in previous titles was no more, as the team revamped this iconic destination. Where San Andreas went big with its multi-area landscape, GTA 4 was kept within its city limits, offering a dense and vibrant space for the player to explore. Its scale was strong enough for Dan Houser to describe Liberty City as the biggest character in the game. GTA 4 was released for consoles after delays in April 2008. It received critical acclaim, with praise for its narrative, open world and sound design, and it's considered a landmark title of its generation. A Windows version released months later also to acclaim, and despite added features, it was regarded as inferior to the console editions. 2 expansion packs were released within the next year, bringing different perspectives from those living in the city. Like the heavy atmosphere of Liberty City, the gameplay and story also have weight to them. You play Niko Bellic, a cynical ex-soldier from Eastern Europe who arrives in Liberty City. Inspired by his cousin Roman, he tells Niko that he's become successful since arriving earlier. Niko quickly realises that Roman has exaggerated his claims, as he's forced into working with the criminal underworld. He later reveals the real reason why he arrived: to find the traitor who betrayed his unit back home, as Niko moves through a violent tale of revenge, trauma and isolation, as he tries to move away from his past while in an unfamiliar environment. Niko works towards his endgame using things already seen in earlier GTA titles, like weapons and vehicles. But like Liberty City itself, these too feel heavy. Guns feel powerful, with Niko being able to shoot different body parts. And of course, he can use his trusty limbs and melee weapons, including throwable objects like bricks, to bring down his foes. Niko regrets killing his first victim, and says that he promised himself that he wouldn't do it in his new home, but his drive to reach the traitor becomes too great to keep this oath. Each kill feels visceral, with enemies crying out as they fall to their death, and sometimes begging for their lives or running away if they're the last survivor. Niko shows his own pain by screaming in anguish as he opens fire, not caring if he lives or dies during the conflict, making him a protagonist with nothing to lose.
I'll rip your fucking heart out!
As well as feeling vulnerable on the inside, he can also be fragile on the outside if he's not too careful. Dying results in being respawned outside of a hospital, with the option to start the mission again right away. This can cause frustration though, as many missions can take upwards of 10 to 15 minutes to complete with no checkpoints available, resulting in restarting from the beginning after failing. Thankfully, a proper cover system is introduced to give Niko a fighting chance, where he can recoup before advancing to his objective. This encouraged me to move ahead more cautiously than before. This comes in handy, as Niko can be killed quickly when he's in the open and outnumbered, which happens often during the story. And thanks to local government bureaucracy, gun stores have changed from shiny storefronts to back alley dens. Gunfights in this game don't feel like fun romps this time around, but they feel like desperate attempts for survival. Driving in GTA 4 is nothing like what came before. Vehicles feel weighty and realistic. That momentum in earlier GTAs isn't there anymore, as driving requires you to brake well in advance of a turn. Trying to make a handbrake turn at the last second will cause you to miss it and likely collide into something, and even fly out of the windshield if you were going fast enough. Slamming the brakes in wet weather will cause you to skid several feet before coming to a complete stop. Even hitting a curb can alter your drive, making GTA 4's driving system one of the most frustrating to learn, but one of the most rewarding once you get the hang of it. Pay and sprays make a return, but GTA 4 has a missed opportunity with removing car mods, which could have been a special ability for the character Brucey. Cars can be stored in reserved car spaces outside each of Niko's safe houses, instead of in garages like before. There are many ways you can traverse the city, even in the back of a cab or in a train car as you watch the world go by. Many missions utilise a combination of these mechanics. Niko does missions for many underworld figures in the city, with some he can befriend. And while a few appear to be upstanding models of justice and authority, they're as rotten as their criminal counterparts. To achieve his end goal, Niko is persuaded into doing their dirty work, making money while reliving his trauma from back home. To him, Liberty City is just another battlefield. But GTA 4's story isn't linear. Throughout the course of the game, Niko will have to make choices that affect his well-being and those around him. In many cases, the reward is paltry compared to the consequences of his actions. Bridges can be burned, and relationships can end, adding to GTA 4's philosophy that everything Niko does is intentional. This is reinforced by his personal belief that the end justifies the means, making his story feel grounded and engaging. It hooked me in from the moment he disembarked from the platypus. I felt that Niko's most genuine relationships came from those I least expected. Little Jacob, a Jamaican gang member with a heavy Creole accent, relates to Niko's struggles as a traumatised immigrant in a different city, and they get along very well. Brucey is a macho beefcake who acts tough on the outside, but like Niko, he's also vulnerable, which strengthens their friendship. Even seeing his relationship with Roman change from cynicism and frustration to a strong family bond was rewarding to witness. The standout for me though was the McCreary family, with Niko having professional and personal relationships with each sibling. They almost feel like Liberty City itself, a former influence consumed by decay and corruption. Packy McCreary tells stories of his family's previous stronghold on the city, while doing dirty work to scavenge what he can get to survive. The infamous mission 3 Leaf Clover is the family's crescendo in the story. They feel big time for stealing $1 million in a bank heist, but they lose a close friend in the process. Another paltry reward. These relationships are strengthened, or in some cases weakened, by GTA 4's social system. There's less activities to do in Liberty City despite its density, but the ones available are engaging. Niko can do various activities alone or with another person, with some being fun little mini-games. He can call a friend through his cell phone and invite them out to an event, or receive calls from them, even during inconvenient moments. Relationships can be forged or broken by this system, with special abilities unlocked for full respect from a friend. That feeling of loneliness disappears for Niko, even for a brief moment. Declining a request or failing to show up in time can cause a friendship to turn sour, and this balance can feel contrived, as declining a friend with full respect forfeits their perk until you earn it back. However, accepting an invite and then cancelling doesn't have any effect. Niko can expand his friendship circle by visiting internet cafes and meeting people on a dating website, where he can also check emails and take on side jobs. Customization is limited in GTA 4, but Niko can buy new clothes and customize his phone's wallpaper and ringtone later in the game, adding some colour to the dreary Liberty City atmosphere that Niko slowly throws himself deeper into, making the city feel like the centrepiece of the game. Liberty City is a web full of diverse boroughs and nearby islands, with each borough distinguishing itself visually from the other. From working class areas like Broker and Dukes, to industrial hubs like Alderney, and from bustling downtowns like Algonquin, to dilapidated areas like Bohan, this revamped city feels all-consuming. Its grey atmosphere makes it feel bleak. while being dotted with beautiful moments like sunrises and still evenings. The main hubs feel busy with people going about their day, doing things like catching cabs or eating at hot dog stands, with the odd police pursuit here and there, even towards Niko. There are also quieter areas like parks, where people relax on benches or practice Tai Chi, adding serenity to the urban chaos. These serene moments make the city feel more believable. And it isn't just its inhabitants that get stained by the city. Its pollution can cause vehicles to become dirty, which can be cleaned at car washes. Things like this add to the day-to-day life that Liberty City portrays. And these dynamics make Liberty City feel like a living entity, rather than just a video game map. The game is set in a post-9/11 world full of paranoia and propaganda, with its population experiencing the Web 2.0 evolution of the late 2000s. Liberty City feels like the ideal place for this setting, being a busy city and a melting pot of different cultures and identities. This fear is projected through a satirical lens by the media, through the game's radio and TV channels, contributing to the soundscape of this iconic location. Niko can listen to numerous radio stations of varying genres. He can tune into local and foreign rock and pop as well as hip-hop. He can enjoy a relaxing drive with jazz and ambient music, or blast his speakers with hardcore and not so hardcore rock music. Even Vice City isn't forgotten, with a dedicated radio station for 80s pop music to remind listeners of that city's former glory, hosted by GTA stalwart Fernando Martinez. Laszlo Jones even gets in on the action with a podcast radio hybrid channel called Integrity 2.0, a tongue-in-cheek parody poking fun at the newest internet era at the time. And of course, fear-driven news and talk shows are a dial turn away for Niko.
Scientists, okay, but sometimes these scientists, they just make things confusing. It takes actors and musicians to explain important issues, you know?
Everything from family values to immigration is lampooned in Liberty City's talkback stations, with a colourful cast of announcers across the political spectrum. Guests include Ricky Gervais, who appears in stand-up shows in the game. And of course, advertisements that spoof consumerism and pop culture are wedged in between songs and segments. GTA 4's satire almost feels like comic relief, cutting through its serious and more grounded tone, letting the player know that its iconic humour is still there.
Eat him up! Yeah, eat him up, because there's nothing more appetizing than a tween with a drug problem and a massive ego. What a dick.
Niko can hear pedestrians talking to each other and cars driving by and honking, as well as street vendors calling out for customers while he navigates Liberty City on foot. Some cars will start chiming when the door is left open, while others have built-in GPS voices, which also aren't immune to Rockstar's humour. One of my favourite moments was hearing a saxophone player late at night in a park. He was rewarded by Niko with a small donation before saying thank you and continuing to play, briefly cutting through the isolation.
Thank you very much.
It's these oral touches that add another layer to Liberty City's immersion. The city's constantly talking, but for Niko, he still feels alone in this new place. For some GTA fans, the fourth mainline installment feels like the odd one out in Rockstar's catalogue. After San Andreas introduced a vast array of systems, activities and customization, GTA 4 stripped most of it back to focus on the story of a vengeful immigrant fighting through his trauma. Everything about it feels heavier, accompanied by slower pacing and a more serious story. At the same time, people loved these changes due to Rockstar entering a new era, one which prioritised technical innovation over an abundance of content. Others felt that losing its sandbox elements changed the series' identity, making it feel less playful than before. Rockstar would take elements from GTA 4's strong story, cinematic storytelling, and more grounded protagonist, and move them into future titles, like Red Dead Redemption and its sequel. GTA 5 adopted much of this, but it moved away from 4's darker tone to go back to the franchise's bombastic sandbox roots, reintroducing many features that San Andreas pioneered. Even GTA 4's expansion packs would revive previous mechanics, like parachutes in the Ballad of Gay Tony, as well as introduce checkpoints, a sorely needed feature missing in the base game. Today, GTA 4 is regarded as having some of the most detailed mechanics ever seen in an open world game. While considered hard to handle at release, GTA 4's shooting and driving is seen as part of Rockstar's ambitious game design, which added more realism to the franchise. Niko's tale in a post-9/11 setting resonates with players, with many remembering how they felt for a period of time after the tragic news broke. And most importantly, GTA 4's rendition of Liberty City is viewed as a gritty GTA environment, making it feel more alive than others with its setting and ambient noise. GTA 4 is the loneliest Grand Theft Auto game, and one of Rockstar's most ambitious titles.